Hello everyone, and welcome to DappRadar's Off the Blockchain, a show all about NFTs, DeFi, gaming, metaverse, everything to do with Web3. With me, I have the ever-dependable Robert Hogendoorn, who I believe is back in the Netherlands, back in the motherland.
Back in the motherland, in the lowlands, yes.
And there's Mr. Ian Kane over there, who I understand you have a number of podcasting commitments that you have to deal with today. So I hope you don't lose your voice with us.
No.
Me, your host, Charlie. As you can see, I'm enjoying the English summer. I think that maybe this English summer might even be thawing a crypto winter, Ian, to coin a term.
Oh, maybe. That's a good one.
But most importantly, with us, we have a special guest who will be joining us later on, a mystery man who we're all very excited to talk to. Like and subscribe if you're a regular listener, and you can also catch us on Spotify. So if you don't want to see these faces, feel free to listen to our voices. Now, we have a great show coming up for you today. We have the situation over at 3 Arrows, what's happening there, who's losing money, how much money do they owe? As I said earlier, is the crypto winter thawing? Are things getting back to normal and back to their best? We've also got a special guest, as I said, to talk through with us what's happening. There's my cat in the background, if you can hear her. The special guest is my little crypto kitty. And also, Rob's going to be talking through us today about more games, like he did last week, which was really interesting, and it just shows you the sort of things you can do with Web3 technology and gaming. But firstly, how are you two, Ian? How's your week been so far? What have you been up to?
Pretty good.
I'm going to stop this joke now as well.
Oh, that was
Go ahead.
Best. Like,
oh no! Ian's
no!
Frozen. Just see about to tell us how his week's been. I thought you just saw my face come out of the glasses and was horrified.
I was going to say you.
All right, Rob, you tell us how you've been.
I think Ian is back though, but I'm great, man. Like I flew to the Netherlands yesterday. You know what's actually true? Like I've been reading about those airport issues all the time, not experiencing it. But it's true. Like it's a total mess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I landed on the small Rotterdam airport. Like it's so small. It only has 2 luggage
carousels.
Carousels. So it's super small.
Yeah.
And I waited for like 2 hours for my luggage.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I waited 15 minutes and I was pissed off.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's terrible.
Yeah, but I'm doing great. Like, back in the homeland and enjoying the crypto pump a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, all good, man.
Ian, we're going to go back to you again. Round 2. How are you? You just froze.
Oh right, that's generally how I'm doing. Like I'm just frozen in time. No, I'm good. I've actually been spending the week like looking at my portfolio really deeply and getting a bit itchy and a little bit excited and yeah.
Yeah, so we had a chat yesterday about when's the best time to get back in, didn't we?
We had a prospective chat where both of us had to end the chat with, "This is not financial advice, and please don't do anything that I said to do." But we think this might happen, which we're going to talk about in today's show as well. So yeah.
Hold on, Ian. So last week you told everybody, "Oh yeah, I've taken some days off. I've been looking at my portfolio and blah blah blah." And now this week you've done the same. So have you made like a 360 on your previous assessments? Oh, okay.
I've honestly been diving into some of the real crap that I got my hands on and then just trying to figure out, should I get rid of it or should I just hold it? Is it even worth getting rid of it? Should I just keep it? And then, yeah, more about pulling the trigger. Like I am seriously excited about this bear market, like seriously excited. So I'm just trying to withhold my enthusiasm.
Maybe it's over, Ian. Maybe it's over.
Don't speak too loudly. Don't speak too loudly.
Don't tell everyone. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'm looking forward to kind of just diving into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Interests me. Yeah.
All right. Before we go on to that, we'll talk about the 3 Arrows situation. Rob, you're going to give us a bit of a lowdown on what's happening there and who's been losing money.
Yeah. So when you're talking about losing money in the bear market, 3 Arrows Capital is like prime example. So they have this lawsuit going on, and supposedly they bought a yacht, a $50 million yacht, to flex how good they were doing, and they were buying that using borrowed money. So it's all very good work ethic, and no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But Trio's capital is shortly put effed. It's they lost lots of money, supposedly at like $3 billion of borrowed money, of loan money. So money they need to return.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. They've been investing in the wrong projects, ranging from Terra to ETH-ST, which also like Celsius, all the kind of stuff, like literally like everything that's has been negatively in the news over the past months.
They did it.
They were back in
it. But right now, there's a story going on about their NFT portfolio. Like, one of the things they've done is they bought a whole bunch of NFTs as a way to diversify their investments, which technically is not a bad idea.
It's not a terrible idea, as long as the rest of your portfolio is well diversified.
Yeah. So like, it's not a bad idea. But now the whole discussion is about, okay, what are these NFTs worth? Like, how should you value them? There were some discussions out in the open. Like CoinDesk did an article about it and used our DappRadar valuation tool.
How does that work? The valuation tool?
I will get to that in a bit. So, but there was some public criticism on the way we at DappRadar valued their NFTs, because let's say a CryptoPunk has a $1 million value. People are always like, it's $1 million. No, it's $1 million. But maybe yes, it's been bought for $1 million. But looking at the wider market and looking at other recent sales, comparing that based on metadata, actually gives it a value of 750. Just as an example. So,
one question quickly, Rob. Just for people that might not know, the metadata is stuff like the individual traits that each, like a CryptoPunk has. So it's like, is it wearing a beanie? Is it, what sort of animal is it, or is it a human? That sort of thing.
Correct.
So is your Bored Ape smoking a ciggy, or have they got a little cap on?
Exactly. So hold on. Give me a moment, and I will.
So have they got 3 billion quid's worth of NFTs then, Rob?
Does anyone have 3 billion worth of NFTs?
If only. No, look. So
This is where we open it.
Yes, I've opened the wallet of 3 Arrow Capital. I've even labeled it, so it's 3AC. So this is their wallet. Right now, they have a valuation of the wallet has a valuation of close to $20 million. I'll scroll down to the token holdings, and you will see it's literally only NFTs. So this is their NFT. This is their NFT, or maybe one of their NFT wallets. Now, what's of course interesting is the valuation of those NFTs. So there was some criticism on this. So
did I see a story in CoinDesk quoting us about?
Yes. So this a week ago or over a week ago, there was this story on CoinDesk about the valuation of their NFT collection.
Yeah.
Then there were, after that, based on that article, there was lots of criticism, and one of our most trustworthy employees, Pedro Herrera, he and together with our machine learning tech heads, they explained to CoinDesk, okay, how does our valuation tool work? And it's super interesting because, look at this page, right? This is their NFT collection, 20 million. You can see it on top. There are 450 NFTs. In the past 24 hours, the value has increased 2.5%, mainly due to crypto price increasing, of course. So the last sale price is generally not a very good way to estimate the value of an NFT. What's a lot better is when you apply machine learning algorithms. So when we say estimated price, it's an actual estimated price, meaning that this, for example, this CryptoPunk, it has green, I don't know what it's called, green clown eyes and white fuzzy hair. Now, and it has a freckle somewhere on the cheek. Now, based on recent and past trading, they can see, okay, so punks with white hair, they tend to sell for a 10% premium. So that adds value to your punk. Punks with those green clown eyes, they also sell for a higher price. And what's interesting here is you see 1 million for this particular punk, right? But look here, this zombie punk has a lower estimated price. Well, generally you would say, oh, zombies, there are less zombies, so they are more valuable. But this machine learning algorithm takes into account all the past sales, and particularly the recent sales, of course. So apparently, the white fuzzy-haired ones or the human punks have been selling for a premium lately, pushing the value up of CryptoPunk 4153. At the same time, zombie punks, they've not been doing that great recently. So currently, in the current market conditions, the estimated value of this CryptoPunk, so of the zombie punk, is 638,000. So that it puts a whole new perspective on how to look at the estimated value of an NFT. Doesn't mean that our price estimates are always 100% accurate, but the moment a related NFT with a related metadata set sells, these estimated prices will change live, and that's a whole lot different from looking at only the last sale price or looking at floor prices. So this adds a lot more dynamic, and it makes estimating value a lot more flexible, I guess, and a lot more accurate that way, because it's actually based on actual sales happening.
Yeah, it's more dynamic, so it's always changing based on machine learning. It's like now we know this much more information, so we'll update our price accordingly.
Exactly.
So, just out of interest, Rob, do you know how much 3 Arrow estimated their own collection at?
That's
presumably
No.
not 3 billion. Yeah.
No, I honestly don't know. I also they have been a bit dodgy on the valuation of their portfolio and how they move their things around. That's also one of the reasons there's this lawsuit happening right now, because they've been hiding their slow demise to their investors, and that, of course, is it's a very dark practice.
Yeah, because if you're a registered company with investments, then you still have to be upfront with your customers, don't you?
Yeah. I mean,
even if you are dealing in NFTs.
Yeah. It's not only about NFTs. It's also about their crypto. For example, when Terra went down, they said to their investors, "Yo, all's fine, nothing's wrong on our side."
Yeah.
While they were actually panicking and trying to fix their bad investments, and then they jumped into Celsius, and
it spread. The contagion spread.
Yeah.
Go on, Ian.
It's quite interesting to see, though, as much as, we said that 3 Arrows have probably done a pretty terrible job, it's still quite interesting to see what they got involved into. We call them blue chip collections, and this is a little bit of confirmation. If we jump back a step, Rob, and just look at what their top holdings are in, what they got there, I can see a lot of art blocks, generative art pieces here. So they've gone pretty big on those. Art blocks curated, CryptoPunks. What's the fourth one? Def Beef. So just as a kind of looking in the wallet of someone who apparently knows more than we do, it's quite interesting to see what they got involved with from an NFT collection point, because they're playing with people's money here. This is what's that? Crypto butts.
No, crypto dick butts.
Dick butt. No, that one.
It's interesting there are no Bored Apes.
Yes.
Yeah, look, this is a crypto dig bot.
Crypto
It literally is
You've never seen.
I've never seen that before.
No? Oh, okay. You've been missing out, man.
I've been missing out. I mean, what have I been doing if I haven't seen the crypto dick bot? Like, it's
I think I've definitely heard of it, but I don't think I'd ever seen one. So it's the first time for everything.
interestingly, though, like just from an investment perspective, this is interesting, and we're seeing more sales of this week on week. When I'm looking at top 10 NFT sales, and just looking at like the top 100, even for example, we're seeing a lot of sales on our blocks. This stuff is really getting traction right now.
Yeah, and it's it's like what you see here. This is the very common ones, like ringers and Fidenza. Those are among all art blocks, among all curated art blocks. I have to say, they are the very, very popular ones.
Yeah,
Chromie Squiggles, of course. Like I personally, I like. Let me see if they have one of those.
Now we're just looking through their catalog.
Oh yeah, here.
What can we buy off? They obviously need to sell.
Yeah, flash sale.
Yeah, that's another point.
Algorithms I like
on the 3 Arrows wallet. Go on, Rob. What was that one?
Algorithms. It's a so you have like different squares and they move and they make a sound. It's like a piano. It's kind of, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, here this one. But I don't think.
All right, I think the bottom line of this whole story is that they're not in a very good situation, are they? The older 3 Arrows.
No.
They got some pretty funky NFTs, but they do
have some really cool NFTs, but I think they need a few more of them to cover their costs.
Yeah, selling these NFTs will not will not really help them recover their losses.
Do you know something that might help them recover their losses is the sudden uptrend in crypto prices that we've noticed since maybe the end of June. Ian, you and I were speaking about this.
Yeah.
And we noticed that a few of them have started going from here, which they started doing sort of from maybe January onwards, and they've started doing that again. So is this a sign of a recovery, or is this a dead cat bounce, or is this the summer heat melting the crypto winter? Tell us what you think's happening, not what is happening, because who knows?
I'll tell you, well, that's the bottom line, isn't it? Who knows what's happening? But I'll tell you what I think is happening. Yeah, for sure. So from November, like you say, we saw a downward trajectory on all major tokens, and every Bitcoin and ETH, and everything follows suit. And whether or not we saw any uptick, because we did have an uptick in January, I think we had an uptick again in March, but they've all kind of been very short-lived in what we would call a dead cat bounce, where it's kind of given an indication that we might be on the way back up, but then it's just literally dropped off the map again.
Those moments were literally 1 or 2 days, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were. Yeah. And it's been kind of a strange journey to watch, because there's been people are obviously a little bit reluctant to dive back into the market. So the reason that we're looking at this is because, as I said at the beginning, I am looking to dive back in. So I'm trying to find an opening, I guess, is the point here. All right, cool. So we got Bitcoin here. So what we're talking about here overall is the November the 10th crash. So we sit here at $67,000, and we see in the last 90 days. So what I was saying was, despite any ups that we see along the way, we've always been on a downward pattern on our way down until here. So on the 20th of June, roughly speaking, 19th, we hit $17,000 on Bitcoin. Now, that was a low point in the price in this cycle. Now, since that moment in time, we haven't gone back down to that figure again. We've managed to stay above and hit around 19,000 with a small peak here, and then bouncing again here at around 19,000.
This is what the experts in the game, or the people who have YouTube channels who talk about this sort of stuff, they call the level of support, don't they? The sort of 18 grand point.
Yes, the support line. So basically the price is supported at that level. You've got appropriate buy-sell pressure that keeps it above. So we're seeing that we've got this 19K. This seems to be the golden number right now. So what Charlie and I were discussing yesterday is, as we see here, we have started to move upwards. And this all looks very positive. If we look at it on a 30-day lens, that looks pretty sexy, right? But what we need to do is zoom out slightly and think that, yes, we're on an upward trajectory, but there's still not enough tangible evidence here to support that we're out of the bear market. A little bit more patience is required in this area. But overall, what we can see here is that we are moving up. Now, what I said to Charlie yesterday was, if we give it a couple of, maybe even up to 7 days, maybe even 14 days, and we see another drop, and we hit 19, then we can safely kind of say to ourselves that we've found some support at 19 and that there is some safety net there. So we shouldn't expect to see any more drops below that. Obviously, there's no guarantee of this, but that's just looking at Bitcoin. So as we know, everything kind of follows the trend. And we see here again with Ethereum, same pattern. We've got November there, and then the slow decrease all the way down. Again, we see this decreasing trend up until this point here at the same moment on the 18th of July, 19th of July, and we start to now see an uptick. But that uptick could only take us up to this line here at 1.8, which could be the line we could grind along for the next 6 months. We don't know. So a lot of people might be thinking, let's ape in. I mean, if you wanted to ape in, a month ago was the moment.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Captain Hindsight here telling you the real juicy information. So would have, should have, could have mentality is definitely here. Personally, and just personally, not investment advice, I am waiting a bit longer. I want to see this. It looks a bit tricky to me. There's no tangible reason as to why we should be going up in such large chunks right now, 20, 30%. There's some good positivity in the market. But all that aside, let's talk about some of the things that were really pumped. We've been writing articles recently about tokens that were vibing and pumping in the bull market. And now we want to look at, are they strong tokens? Are they bad? Are they good? And so on. So one of the ones that I was looking at was BNB. If we look at the full year, again, we see a high here, 654. And we see a similar pattern again. We've dropped to a low of around 197, so under $200. So if you think that at its all-time high, it was nearly 650, and now we're around 2, you're looking at around a 3x if we get back to that moment in a couple of years' time. Sandbox is displaying similar trajectories. And again, traditionally with Sandbox and metaverse plays, we've seen that the news and speculation really fed their price. Right now, other than the launch of season 3, I think, of the Sandbox, there's not much else happening, right? It's not like they suddenly became this behemoth. So
they have some interesting partnerships, but I will get into that later.
Yeah. I think their partners, they keep announcing, like they just announced Tony Hawk, didn't they, as a new partner? I know that he's not going to swing the needle massively, but it's all these things keep heading up, and they're backed by the brands, and that's certainly one I'm keeping an eye on myself.
I think it's an interesting project that we spoke about yesterday. It's got quite a long tail already. They've had skin in the game a long time. Ultimately, there was 2 things that we spoke about yesterday as well, Charlie. The one thing I said about all these celebs aping in, perhaps they've got exclusivity contracts with the Sandbox in the music and film industry. That tends to be the way things are done. So maybe Snoop and all these other dudes, they're kind of stuck in the Sandbox for 3 years, 4 years, who knows? But that's great for their development. So we don't know about that. And then, how successful the round 3 of play is, basically. But just, we're not trying to say anything here about buying anything or selling anything. We're just objectively having a look at the lines on the chart and sort of answering the questions that probably what Charlie and I were talking about is what most people are thinking about. When is the moment? When is the bottom?
Yeah, and this kind of plays into a wider question. Sorry, you go, Robin. I'm going to go into something.
Have we hit the bottom?
Who can say?
You have to grind it for, what is it? It's 20 weeks, I think. You've got to be in a downward spiral. So if you think across 90 days, 180.
So we need to be in an upward spiral for 90 days in order to determine we're out of a bottom, out of a...
Pretty much, yeah. You've got to see some consistent movement. 14 days, 20 days is not enough to see. You can use 20-week moving averages there as well, and you can see if we're on the upward trajectory. But overall, just on a very basic level, it's about assessing what we're doing here, just keeping it quite simple. And then also just to draw attention to DappRadar, obviously these tokens power applications. You can also cross-reference on data using DappRadar. So if we take something like Polygon, which is a good example, we click on their network and see what their dApps are doing. Let's have a look at their 7 days. Look, we've got a leading game there. It's 81% increase in active users. QuickSwap active users up 230% increase on 1inch network users. We're seeing some good positivity around Polygon dApps. So
hold on, Ian, I'm just going to cut you off there because I just had some information in my ear that a very special guest is about to join us.
Nice.
So if a certain man could enter the room. Oh, it's Pedro.
Yay!
guys.
We have DappRadar's resident report writer and head of research and one of the most knowledgeable men about all things Web3 that I know. It's Pedro Herrera. Hey.
Oh my God! What a presentation, Charlie! I'm humbled. Happy to join you guys.
Sorry.
Thanks for the invitation. Happy to be here.
Oh, pleasure. First off, the first thing I wanted to ask you while you're here was how have your travels been going? How was Paris?
It's been hot, man. It's been hotter than expected. Eating a lot of cheese. Really, really good views in the street. No, but I mean, amazing environment right now. Now that we are on the Web3 week.
Here we go.
And
Everyone's got their glasses on.
That's
cool.
That doesn't look like a Web3 week, Pedro, but okay.
Sorry. The recent BGA Games report came out last week. I think it was on the 12th of July. And we just kind of wanted to know what are the biggest insights you can tell us from that at the moment. Like there are sort of key headline takeaways that people should know about and just interesting things that have been happening in gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I would start to say that it's really impressive and really positive to see that despite gaming tokens going down as much as 99%, like if we see Jewel, for example, the native token of DeFi Kingdoms, it has fallen down like 99%. Like, come on, man. And 10,000 people are daily playing this game. So it's really encouraging to see that people are connecting to the game and playing it because they think it's fun. A very different scenario of what was happening in the beginning of the play to earn, where people were joining just to mine, right?
And what are they still playing for? Like, why? If there's nothing to earn on DeFi Kingdom, what's the point of it? I mean, excuse my ignorance, but I thought that game was all about just like earning coins.
It's about earning coins, and I think they still have hope for the project and keep farming, keep accumulating, keep stacking jewels, and at some point it will break up, and they will be very happy persons. And I think they, in the meantime, are having fun playing the game. So which is super fun. And that actually relates me to the next point, which is I think we're about to see the transition from play to earn to play and earn over the next months, especially with the top AAA games coming out from the Gala ecosystem, from the Mutable X ecosystem, like Illuvium, like Grit, like all of these very, very top games. Where people are going to connect not just to farm again, but are going to, connect to have fun.
Just quickly, whilst you just mentioned play to earn and play and earn, is it one is you play just to earn money and the other one is you play but also earn on the side? Is that right?
Yeah. So play to earn, and Robert's not going to get me light, started more or less about the time that Axie Infinity started to pick up, right, in the Philippines. We came out from a very harsh pandemic that laid down a huge economic fall down, especially in emerging economies like the Philippines, Venezuela, Southeast Asia, mainly in Latin America and Africa. And people were like, wait, well, what are we going to do? And then they start to see a huge potential of, okay, I can play a video game and start earning $30, $40 a day, which for us might not sound like a big deal, but for those people is what they might earn like in 1 week. So imagine that in the mind of these people. So it was really groundbreaking. So this is the rise of play to earn, people connecting to the games and playing with the main objective of earning a token that then could be converted into fiat, right? And this was really positive because it put the name of blockchain games in the map, and it also created like new social models and associations like gaming guilds, like incubators and so on, which are now going to be very important for the ecosystem going forward. And now what we are seeing is like, yeah, these games are evolving, and we are going from a game that I could click and just earn to a game where I really need to spend time strategizing, where I'm going to be immersive and I'm going to have fun playing, which is the best part. So,
like I honestly, I hate the differentiation between play to earn and play and earn because I think it's all marketing. Like, I think the big difference is that gaming projects need to be good first, fun first, then add mechanics to it, tokenomics to it,
Yep.
NFTs, whatever. Like, I think with a lot of things in crypto, people step into it for the wrong reasons. Like, people dive into whatever dog Inu coin and expect it to go up 10,000% within a month. And
Don't
that's
be
what,
bitter, Bob. Don't be bitter about your dog Inu coin.
oh, I made money on my dog Inu coin. That's not the point. So the point is that everybody expects that easy win in crypto, and that whole mentality also goes into play to earn gaming or play and earn gaming or blockchain gaming or NFT gaming, whatever you want to call it. That brings lots of bad actors into the scene who jump into those projects for the wrong reasons or who launch such a project for the wrong reasons. And I think like companies like Gala, like Animoca, that have more deep-rooted background in game development, I think that's the welcome blessing. And if we have to call it play and earn instead of play to earn for whatever marketing reason, that's all fine by me. If we ditch that whole earn wording, that's also fine by me. I think like the big difference is not the label we give it, it's the fact that the gaming projects that have been building for the past 2-3 years will slowly come to fruition, and then suddenly there's a quality game where you can do something and create value as a user. And I think that will open up lots of opportunities, and not only opportunities to make money, but also opportunities to have fun and earn something from your time invested in that project.
Yeah, that seems to me a bit more sustainable. It's games that are good that you can earn money on the side, as opposed to games that are like you're just basically like farming like radishes for all day, every day.
That's the whole problem. Like, you can't have you can't have a game where everybody makes lots of money. That's what is
no. That's not realistic. Yeah,
I kind of like the idea of calling it play and earn for
same.
the marketing reasons that you're saying, though. I think it's quite important to change people's mindset of what they expect to be doing once they get there. So as much as I'm with you, Rob, like all these labels, like who cares about the label, but we're at a point in time where marketing is actually really important for these projects, and that we are the ones who are conditioning people to understand what this is all about. We called it play to earn. They expect to earn. If you don't earn, you basically lied to me. Like so calling it play and earn is a little bit more honest, right? I think.
Well, how about play, but maybe you might earn something on the side? I don't know what the acronym for that would be.
Play.
Hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag player maybe earn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that this whole new game of AAA, this whole new like round of AAA gaming is really going to help the scene, because otherwise,
and maybe there's.
I love the idea that you play anyway, even if you don't earn, is the main thing, because that's how you get a sustainable ecosystem. Because otherwise, these economies aren't sustainable, are they?
Yeah, and actually, this was one of the topics that was very present in the Metaverse Summit. Like, there were two biggest challenges that I caught up talking about games. Like, one challenge was how blockchain games are going to be distributed to the masses, whether it's going to be through app stores, of course not. Whether it's going to be through web cloud services, maybe. But there is still a big if. How are we going to do that? And the other thing, and actually there were a lot of venture capitals in the event, which I was really surprised. That also tells you the story about how they're interested in this category. But when you ask a VC, what are the factors that you are looking into investing into a game, they were always telling you, like, projects that prioritize value over growth. We like them because they are more probable to have a sustainable tokenomics in the long run, rather than having a game I don't want to bring names, but there were a couple of B&B games last year that you see a spike. Their token price goes up. Yeah, 400,000 daily users. Oh my God, this is the next big thing. And then 2 weeks later, boom, like everything goes to zero. So it's not sustainable. And this is also one of the main focuses going forward, I could say, for gaming. How games are going to be able to build really sustainable economies for the masses when we are welcoming 10 million players. How are we going to build sustainable economies?
I've actually got a question for you on that note, and it's a bit of a technical one. It's what do you think is going to be more important in the future? Is it the on-chain metrics, like what we see in Alien Worlds and Splinterlands, or is it more traditional metrics that are attached to games?
I would say we will see a combination of both. Like, for example, the economies that NFTs unravel are going to be important. So looking at on-chain metrics like the trading volume, the number of traders, and so on, that can help a sense of what the demand of that game is. Would be interesting to see. But at the same time, metrics like the churn rate, like the conversion rate, the engagement, the earnings that a player can get for playing, let's say, 1 hour, are also going to tell a lot of the story. And this is more of the traditional metrics that we are seeing in the normal gaming industry. So I would say it's a combination of both, without a predominance of one, because in the end, it's a different kind of monster. You will have the entertainment factor that will be required, as Robert said, and then you will have the on-chain metrics that will tell you the story of how good your in the crypto land your game actually is. So
It's kind of interesting. There's this project called Cradles. It's a game where there are planets. Each planet kind of functions like a DAO, and everybody who's on that planet needs to participate to keep the planet alive. And the planet is basically, you can call it a server, but it's also an NFT. And like they have a new NFT type of NFT coming up. I think it's 3664, not 100% sure, something like that. And it's an NFT that can deteriorate over time. So and basically that means metadata changes over time.
When you say 3664, is that the token standard you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think the whole concept of changing metadata will be super interesting. We've also seen it now with Other Side. The Other Side, they had this event where every Other Deed owner could join this event, where they would get a teaser of what the Other Side will become. And everybody who joined, either played or watched, they got a fragment of a obelisk, I think it's called. They got something, and it's been attached to their land plot as metadata. And so suddenly you could say, like, okay, so they changed the metadata, and suddenly that particular NFT gets history, gets maybe value, depending on what the obelisk is. I have no idea what it is. But so changing metadata adds or maybe loses value. And I think that will be interesting for the future of gaming, to see how they will integrate that into games.
Yeah, things that change. I mean, this is already new brand new technology, isn't it? So we're just at the start of it now. So it'll be interesting to see where it is in 10 years, which would be crazy.
That's interesting. And also thinking about interoperability, how I'm going to be able to play my NFT game assets in one game and be able to overlap them to other games. It's also an interesting conversation.
Yeah, that's what you're all about, isn't it, Rob? Using stuff across different platforms.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Like, that's also why I kind of like those current PFP avatar things. Not like the generic PFP avatars, but the ones that use 3D characters. And it's still, like, honestly, it's rather complex to. For example, like right now, what is it called? Artifact. They have launched their PFP avatars 3D models. I tried Blender. I kind of got it to work, but it took me a lot of time, and it's not user friendly at all. So, but like you have an NFT, so you have an Artifact, a Bored Ape, CryptoPunk, or whatever PFP character, and you log into the Sandbox upcoming season 3, and maybe you can play as that particular avatar. And that whole sense of interoperability, I think that's super cool, and it will be a crucial part of, for example, your online identity. Like, imagine you have your avatar, you use it on Twitter, you use it the same avatar in the other side, in the Sandbox, maybe Decentraland, and it's all part of the identity you have
Exactly.
in the metaverse. No matter which world, but in the metaverse, you're always this particular character.
Attached with your Web3 domain, like your Web3 name.
Yes. So Ian Kane, Ian.Kane.ETH always looks like I don't know, a purple monkey. And that's with
accurate to me.
With a golden chain and a baseball
and
star.
The bone, of course, the bone.
And a cigarette.
Oh yeah.
Ian, were you going to jump in and say something there before I cut you off?
It was only you guys just got me thinking on the spot about the kind of play to earn mechanism. And when we first started talking about play to earn gaming, it was really exciting that just imagine you start playing a game, you buy some loot boxes, you don't spend a whole heap of money, maybe you spend $50, right? You get bored of that game, and then you want to take maybe you don't take the assets, but the ability to be able to release that $50 and take it somewhere else where you can have some fun. I feel like we kind of lost that along the way. And play to earn for me isn't really about making money as such. It's more about not spending lots of money. Like, I can go and play with this game and I get bored, and then I can move over to here. I feel like there'll be a whole group of people that might embrace that a little bit more, where it's like casual gaming, where you're not spending, you have the ability to release the funds that you spent, basically, and you're not looking to get in there and harvest a shitload of tokens.
Yeah, I think that only works. Yeah, I think that only works though with games that are really, really fun to play. And some of the current ones in the market at the moment aren't the sort of ones that you would play if you weren't earning.
No,
I think when I think when these new games come out, like was it Grit I've seen, and Phantom Galaxy's doing interesting stuff, and
but it's also
just
like
the mindset. Like the mindset is what I'm thinking of changing people's mindset to think, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to play a game, and I might make something as a bonus.
But that definitely needs to happen. But let's say you have 1 million players, which would be an awful lot. 90% jumps in with that mentality. Then they all play, let's say, level 1 till 10. That means they all end up with sort of similar token values, types of NFTs. They all jump out at some point, and they try to sell the stuff. I mean, they would not make a lot of money because there's an abundance of those items. And
I think the thing is, you want a churn of players, don't you? People coming in.
Yes, churn of players, and like I think like adding stuff like seasonality to it, adding events, adding mechanics to burn NFTs to create something new. I think that would really like boost an economy. And
so if something like Fortnite was also play to earn, then you have this thing where you keep renewing it,
going constantly.
Yeah, with seasons. Like Fortnite uses seasons. There are like Axie Infinity, for example, had this release an Axie and get a raffle ticket to earn a certain item, a certain land item. I think that some mechanics like that, where you burn items to get new items that are only available for a limited of time, like those types of mechanics will help. And I'm not going to say actually they did a good job or a bad job, but those types of mechanics will help to reduce supply, with that create demand and get a cycle going.
And also help the community of the project. Besides the game, this community is really fun. I want to be part of it. So it's not just about the economic aspect, but also the social aspect.
Yeah, the cultural thing. Yeah,
exactly.
Gamers don't play games to make. Traditional gamers don't play games to make money. They play games because they're fun.
They pay to play them.
No, but actually, like every online, like if any of us have ever played an online game like World of Warcraft or Call of Duty, like what's the most fun? Playing together with your friends. Like
that's what it's about.
Jumping into Halo together with your friends for online co-op, or having a guild with people you've never met but chat with every day in World of Warcraft or another MMO. Like those social aspects. You're right, Pedro. Those are crucial.
Yeah. It's Dungeon and Dragons mindset, man.
Yeah.
exactly.
Is that maybe well, for me anyway, that wasn't what I was doing when I was a kid because it didn't exist. But now, if you're growing up in the last 20 years, your friends are online. You go and speak to your friends online. We probably didn't do that as much, but they look forward to getting home from school, logging on, and hanging out with all their mates in the virtual platform, basically.
Yeah.
So
my daughter has like 150 friends on Roblox.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah. And she's flexing with her clothes that she bought with Robux. So
nice. That's pretty cool.
She's already getting into that metaverse flexing type of thing. But
they're born into it, right? Like they've been born into it. Like we were not born into it as such. We grew up with it presented to us over time. For them, it's natural. Like they don't go and hang out at the park. They don't hang out in World of Warcraft, right?
Ah, sad.
Yeah, sad times.
Whilst we're on the topic of games, Pedro, do you want to hang around with us for 5 minutes while Rob talks us through a few games that he's been looking at and shows us a few demos, and then maybe we can criticize, review, chat about it.
Criticize me, yeah. No, not me. The games, right? The games.
The games. I've never ever criticized you. Rob, you're my boss. I couldn't criticize you.
Please do. I hate it if people become sheep. Don't become a sheep, Charlie.
All right, I hate you. All right, come on.
That was literally from here to here in 10 seconds.
Okay, Charlie, you're fired. Hold on.
You know that movie U-Turn, Charlie? You might want to check that one.
Brave Dead. Not a Brave
What you got for us then, Robert?
Exciting games. Yeah. I'm trying to
earn lots of money in these games, otherwise I'm not interested, basically.
What was that? If they got a plug-in?
Okay, so Spidertanks, they launched a new light paper, and they're going to have 3 different token mechanics. Now, what's kind of interesting is for playing the game and winning matches, you will earn victory points. At the end of the day, based on the amount of matches that have taken place during the 24 hours, your victory points will be converted to silk, which is a token. In addition, there will be a secondary token called Arachnium, which you convert from silk to which you can convert from silk as well, which allows you to update your tanks. And now, dependent on the rarity of your tanks, you earn a certain amount of silk per day. Now, if there's like a person really like going down and playing the game 24 hours per day, then over time their earnings will diminish. Very similar to what we are seeing at Splinterlands, for example.
So you can't milk it, basically.
You can't milk it. Or at least that's the idea. Like, no, let's be realistic.
I'm sure someone will find a way.
No milk mechanism built in.
The more silk hits the market, the less silk will be distributed per day. So there's also a mechanic to.
I'm glad that they're starting to think of these ways of making these economies more sustainable. Just flooding the market.
I love this mindset of Gala because it also happens in Townstar, where all the progress is resetted after 1 week. So it really gives a fair advantage to all competitors, right? It's really nice job.
Exactly.
First
And you know what's
is that actual gameplay footage, Robert?
Yes.
That you're showing.
Yes,
it is.
Kind of looks a bit like sort of Crash Bandicoot or Ratchet and Clank or something. It looks quite cool.
No, man, this is MOBA. This is team based. So you play 4 against 4, I think.
Yeah, I mean the graphics.
Yeah, I mean it looks like any other good, high quality game.
Yeah, game mechanic is more like battles of Mario Kart, where you could battle like.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? Like those tanks are all NFTs, right? And you need to pay for them. But if you're a player who just wants to play the game, you can just join the game. You can borrow an NFT from somebody, and you share the commission. So you share the earnings with.
So they've got a rental system.
Yes, there will be a rental system. So that's very cool.
So that's game number 1.
I quite like these rental systems. Yeah, it's like pimping people out to do your work for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It kind of is. The next game I want to show is, and now I need to search through all the, and I find this one. It's again the Sandbox, but the Sandbox has some interesting partnerships. Has some interesting partnerships.
Tony, he's gonna show Tony.
No Tony, man. No
Oh,
Tony.
come on, man. I've been waiting for Tony all week.
Look at this.
Oh, play. Okay, that's not a bad.
Is
not
this
a bad
okay?
replacement. Is this legit, Rob? We don't want to know what you
This is legit. Yeah.
This is where Rob goes
Yeah,
in
looks
the
legit.
Sandbox.
Friday night plans.
I'm sold.
Can
Where do
I-
I sign up, Rob?
Can I go grab a beer or what?
Exactly. So this is the Sandbox. They have this. Hold on. Now I'm messing up. They have this partnership announced with Playboy to get Playboy Dimension in. They have a partnership with Tony Hawk to create a skater
Just
environment.
quickly, Rob, quickly, just tell us what the name of the Playboy Mansion NFTs are.
Oh yes, that's a good one. So Playboy Mansion has an NFT collection called Rabbitars. The Rabbitars have been around on the market for quite some time already.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the floor price is at the moment, but I'm pretty sure they're going to continue with this Rabbitars for quite some time. So no investment advice, but it could be a nice one. And if you own a Rabbitar, you get like privileges in the Playboy Mansion, of course.
What kind of privileges we talking about?
Interesting, huh?
Ian, those are
privileges.
those are privileges for pixelated characters. So yeah, there's no physical benefit here.
Where is the utility then? Come on.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
utilities.
Maybe you can get like a monthly interview with Playboy Bunny of the Month or something like that. I don't know. And
Yeah, that sounds funny.
very fresh from the press. We all know Snoop Dogg and his doggies. Steve Aoki is dropping avatars. So
Surprise, surprise.
yeah, Steve Aoki is dropping avatars. Like a couple of thousand, hitting the market July 25th. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, keep your eyes open. Next one, hold on, is so about the Axie Infinity breeding. Let me again share my screen, and now I messed this up. Yes, here it is. Oh God.
Technical disclaimer.
Yeah, technical. I'm working on a
Yeah.
MacBook, and it's fucking
Rob
sucks.
has one screen and he's abroad.
Yeah, and working on a MacBook is not my forte. Sorry about that.
That's how we know that Robert is in the Netherlands.
Yes, I am. So, the Lunatian Summer is a breeding event that has started for Axie Infinity. Now, what's interesting, like if you're like Axie Infinity has gone through quite some struggles lately, right?
Which we spoke about in last week's show, so go and catch that.
Yeah. So they've had some issues, but now what's interesting is that, like if you're into collecting, you think Axie has this future ahead of them. There are time-limited Axies up for grabs. So what you need to do is you need to put two Axies together. You need to breed them, quotation marks. This has become a very
This is a Playboy Mansion.
yes.
tentatively.
Yes.
Do you
Exactly.
still need SPS?
Yeah, that's all part of it. Yeah, I mean, if you breed, you need SPS. Yeah.
AXS, no? Or
And a little bit of AXS. Yeah, and that's also the reason if you've seen the price of SLP has gone up a bit in the last couple of days. This breeding event definitely plays a role in that price action. So you put two Axies together. If you use Axies with the right body parts, you will get a new Axie which has a summer body part. And if you have like an Axie with 6 summer body parts and you breed 2 of those together, you have a 5% chance of getting a shiny summer Axie, which is of course like the holy grail people would want, those who are into breeding. If you go back like 5 years already, like CryptoKitties, breeding exclusive rare kitties is very valuable. Like people love that kind of stuff. So this Lunation summer event, pretty cool. Now what's even cooler is they have an announcement, their partnership with Community Gaming. Community Gaming is an esports organization, and they have basically made esports events all on chain. So what happens is there's an event, there's a prize pool. They say this prize pool goes to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the rankings. We invite 10 players, and then the players play their games. They win or they lose, and in the end, people win and automatically get paid out by the system. They now support Ronin Network, meaning that you can have your Axie Infinity battles, everything on chain. Battles play out. You confirm the result of the battle, and ultimately, the winner will get prizes. Now, what I think would be cool, and if you're watching this or listening to this, and you agree with me, it would be cool if we, as DappRadar, would start organizing some of those events. Maybe we should work with Community Gaming and set up some radar events, some radar gaming events. I think that would be cool. What do you guys think?
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's a nice idea.
goes along with what we have launched recently with our. If you're a pro user, you can stake radar tokens and start boosting the apps, right? So I think that could be really interesting to see that.
So the ones that are mostly boosted are the ones maybe we could put a tournament on for.
Exactly.
Potentially that sort of thing. We'll link it all up. How would that work though? Would we host it on the website or would we?
No. Like the Community Gaming has their own tournament environment. So we just use their platform, set up Radar as a reward, or maybe something else, brand the whole tournament as DappRadar, and then it doesn't even matter which game. Like we can do it Axie Infinity. You can even do it with Counter-Strike, or FIFA, whatever.
Or maybe Spidertanks, because I quite like the look of that Spidertanks game.
Yeah, Spidertanks. Right now, I don't think it's live.
They wouldn't.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
I don't think either let us do that.
I knew there'd be a catch to it looking so cool.
The last thing I want to share is Blankos. Because we often talk about blockchain gaming and it doesn't work and the games are not cool enough. I think when it comes to games that are close to console gaming experiences, Blankos is definitely one of them. And they have regular NFT sales. They work with artists to design a new Blankos. You can buy the character, but even if you don't buy an NFT, and you can start playing the game, fulfilling the quests, earning credits, and ultimately buy NFTs with those earned credits. So there's this whole entire play to earn or play and earn. Sorry, Pedro. Play and earn mechanism that's in place. It exists, and honestly, I think Blankos it's a very undervalued and underrepresented.
Quick question there. Quick question on Blankos. That I didn't get from that trailer. I got absolutely no idea what the game's actually about.
It's a shooter.
Okay. No, it's a shooter. It's an action game. Ultimately, if you ever played something like Little Big Planet or Super Mario Maker, it's a game where people can I have to say, it's not have to, can design their own levels. They can then set up their own quests, and the quest can be, for example, collect these items within 10 minutes, and everybody does the same thing, and who has the most points wins. The task can be to race from start to finish, or it can be a shooter, team against team, or free for all. It can be lots of things, but it's all party. It's all party based. Multiple people in levels potentially designed by other players, by yourself.
And before we wrap it up, Rob, tell me what your favorite one out of all of those is.
My favorite things. Okay, my favorite one from a let me see. Okay, technical. I like community gaming. So I like the esports part because it allows everybody to participate, no matter which game. But purely from a game, I would go what I would play most is probably Spidertanks. That's probably the one that fits me personally the most. The Sandbox I'm also super excited about, but I've been I have some land there, so I'm a bit.
You're biased.
I'm a bit biased, yeah.
All right, Pedro, as our special guest, what would be your number one game there?
Again, biased with the Sandbox. But
Are you another landowner?
Yeah.
No.
But that Playboy trailer seems really fun. But when you think about all the gaming experiences inside.
Oh no, it looks incredible. It does, yeah. That's why I believe in the future.
But I gotta say, Blankos is really fun. Very dynamic. Not your typical play to earn game.
No.
First-person shooter. You have collaborations with Burberry. You can really make profits from the trading of NFTs, earning them, and so it's really fun. So I would say Blankos.
And
it's an old game.
Not to leave you out.
No, I was just going to back up on Blankos. We've been talking about that for years. It's not a new thing. Just to mention that, it's been around a while. Long tail, a lot of work gone into what they've got so far. A lot of good things coming. So, but Spidertanks looks like the thing I'd pick up and play, but Blankos looks like the thing I'm drawn to.
Yeah. Cool.
Can I ask you, Charlie? What do you think, Charlie?
Well, if I had land, it'd be the Sandbox. But as it is, I'm gonna have to.
You can hang out and rob.
I quite like the colours in the Blankos game, but I think I'd have to go the Spidertanks one because it was quite fun to just roll around and be a spider tank. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go Spidertanks as well. Right. So everyone go and check out those games. See which one you want to get involved with and have a little play. But otherwise, I think we'll leave it for there today. Pedro, thank you very much for coming in. Remember that you can read more about all the things we discussed in our blog. Visit DappRadar and find the blog and play with all our tools and find out about the games that you want to play as well. And I would also recommend reading Ian's Other Side article. That's about metaverse gaming, and that's on the blog. That's a really interesting read. So get over there and read that. But
everybody read that. Everyone
read that. That's what you need to read. All right.
Next one.
If you don't read it, 7 years of bad luck.
That is 7 years. Yeah.
7-year bull bear market. Read it.
Leave it there then, shall we?
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. You do not have to buy ETH if you don't want. All right. See you later, everyone.
Thank you for the invite.
Cheers.